In today's video, I'll be giving you my 5-step framework on how to get lean as a busy guy. My name's Jack Hamilton. I've been coaching busy guys in the city for the last 6 years, and I've helped transform over 100 people. And the biggest difference between guys who have loads of time, freedom, and aren't that busy, not doing much, is they don't have to be as efficient with their time as opposed to someone like yourself who's got so much going on. We need to make sure we do things as time efficient as possible. We also need to bear in mind your energy levels too. You might have a family to manage. You might have a career which takes up all your time. So it's being really smart about what you put your energy and your time into. And this 5-step framework will get you to where you need to be in no time. Step number 1 is about picking the low-hanging fruit. Everyone thinks it's all about cutting out carbs starting off. It's about going to the gym every day, doing a shit ton of cardio. This is what everyone thinks is step 1. You know, I think it's a big change you have to make, but really it's about doing something that's quite small to begin with and makes a massive difference. We have to think about this over a long period of time. And we always have to think about sustainability too. My biggest thing as a coach when I started 6 years ago, it's always been about what can people actually stick to. I very heavily was into like James Smith starting off, so I learned a lot of his stuff. And the argument was always about like, what can people actually adhere to, right? So the big easy win starting off is to just try and increase your step count every single day by a couple of thousand steps, right? It might sound like a lot, a couple of thousand. When you think about it, that's like 20 to 30 minutes of walking more each day, right? So right now, if you're a guy who's hitting 4,000 steps a day, try and get up to 6,000 starting off. As a baseline, I'd say everyone should start in with the 8,000 steps a day. You know, it's sexy to say 10,000, but that might feel a bit too much of a stretch if you're someone getting 2,000 steps right now. So 8,000 is a really nice place to start off. And if we can do that 7 days a week, we're going to literally double our calorie expenditure. People think that going on a treadmill for hours or going and running for an hour through the city, yes, you'll burn a lot of calories doing that. But one thing is it's not sustainable. And if you sat in your house all day doing nothing and you go and run for an hour, you haven't fixed the big problem, because you actually burn more calories over the whole day by being active. We call it NEAT, where we're moving around, we're making a cup of coffee, you know, we're standing at our desk, we're standing desks, and we're typing away. We're making food, you know, we're going up the stairs at work. All of these little movements actually account for more calorie expenditure than, let's say, running through the city, right? So that's the big one starting off with. You need to get your calorie expenditure up, because even if you're eating super clean all the time, if you had a perfect diet, but you're burning fuck all calories all day, it means nothing. If you're sat around your ass all day and you're burning 2,500 calories overall, and then you're eating 2,500 calories, which is not that much food for a guy, you're still not going to lose body fat. So the diet actually, first of all, can wait for a week or two. I want to focus on getting the low-hanging fruit first, the easy stuff out of the way. So we're going to increase step count starting off, right? If you're on a super low amount, 0 to 2,000 or 3,000, just start off by increasing by 2,000 steps a day. But overall, good target starting off is about 8,000 steps, okay? After that as well, apart from steps, just getting the workouts up too. Now, if you're someone who hates working out, I get it, but start off small and build it up. 3 workouts a week is a minimum standard. There's 7 days in a week. You can commit to at least 3 times for at least 45 minutes, let's say. Maybe even half an hour if you want. But fuck the training program. You know, don't worry about that starting off. Just get to the gym 3 times a week to begin with and do some sort of resistance training. The reason why I say resistance training is because if we can build a little bit of muscle starting off, that will burn more calories day to day. You know, a guy like me who's at 80 kilograms, a guy who's also 80 kilograms but doesn't have as much muscle as me, isn't going to burn the same calories if we sat down all day doing nothing, okay? So we want to increase muscle mass, not become a big bodybuilder, not become huge, but just if we can over time increase our muscle mass, we will burn more calories naturally throughout the day, right? So that 8,000 steps we're doing now, but with a slightly more muscular physique, is just multiplying the amount of calories you burn, right? And if you look at it day to day, it's not a massive difference, but over a 6-month period, over a year period, that's a massive change in expenditure, okay? So 3 workouts a week, but we're looking to make them resistance based. Even if you have no idea what you're doing in a gym starting off, just make sure you go to the gym, just go on all the machines starting off, just get going, do something. Try and lift something that feels reasonably heavy starting off. And we can do training in a whole nother video about how to structure your training. That'll be a whole nother video. But starting off, we're going to do the main movements. Focus on your compound movements. So anything that's pushing, pulling, squatting, hip hinging, the basics to begin with, okay? And most gyms will have machines for these movements, okay? So leg pressing, chest press, a seated row, lat pull down. Most of them are there set up for you, okay? So you don't have to be lifting super heavy or doing heavy deadlifts, but just get into the gym 3 times a week starting off, okay? Elevate steps 2, and then there we have our main base starting off because we've lifted your calorie expenditure up. And also, if you can't get to the gym 3 times a week starting off, good luck dieting for the next 12 weeks, 16 weeks, half a year, full year. You know, training is that mental toughness, which will give you the toughness you need for fat loss in the long run, because nutrition is the hard part, right? So before I move on to my next point, think about this. Would you rather commit to having to do an hour of cardio every single day, which is horrible? Or would you just rather say, right, you know what, I get up and So let me put it to you this way, before we move on to our next point. Would you rather do an hour of cardio every single day? Or would you rather just get up at an earlier tube stop or go out for a walk and a lunch break every single day? You know, these are much easier switches to make, and they'll make a huge difference in the long run. So this is step 1. Step number 2. Now this is the hardest part in sort of the first fat loss phase, the first half of it. And it's about nutrition. It's tracking your calories. Now don't click off the video, because I'll explain why it's so important and why, even if you don't want to do it forever, it's a great thing to get to habit too during the fat loss phase, okay? So at first it will feel hard, like any habit, it will feel hard. Just like working out will, increasing your step count will. This is just another thing, okay? And something I should have said in the last part is you might want to spend just a week or 2 focusing on getting your workouts in and getting your steps higher. And then sort of after a week or 2, you should have had that habit down, you know, at least steps anyway. And we can then start to look at getting calorie tracking down as a whole too, okay? So like anything, it will become a habit, it will get easier, okay? So start with your calories higher. A big mistake people make starting off is they come to me and go, hey Jack, I started tracking my calories like you told me to. Right now I'm aiming for 1800 calories, I'm aiming for 2000 calories. For most men, that is way too low starting off. You know, if you're a guy who is 100 kilograms and you're getting your 8,000 steps a day, and you could probably start off on 2,800 calories, being dead honest with you. So I wouldn't ever start any lower than between 23 and 2,800. If you're a guy on a lighter side, so like sub 80 or sub 90, you could probably get away with 2,300. If you're a guy between 90 and 100, you could start with 2,500. If you're a guy 100 kg plus, you could definitely start in higher ranges, but make sure you use a calorie calculator to work out your calories. Don't just do the way I did off the top of my head, that's dumb. Go and find a calorie calculator and put in your activity level, your height, your weight, your age, find out how many calories you need to lose body fat, okay? But definitely start on the higher calories. Worst case scenario, if you're not losing weight on the scales, you just reduce your calories down by 200 calories every time, or 150 calories every time. If you start too low, then you've got an issue, because you start off seeing as a weight loss really quick and you're going, yeah, I'm being successful here. But you crash quicker and your body will adjust to that quicker too. So to give yourself more room, start your calories higher, okay? Don't try and be a big man and start with lower calories to speed it up. Take your time with it, okay? So we need to work out your calorie target to ensure you're in a deficit in the first place. We only lose body fat by being in a calorie deficit. Everyone surely knows that by now, unless you've been living under a rock. If you have been living under a rock and you've been trying to do low carb diets, keto diets, the only way you're gonna make sure you lose body fat is being in a calorie deficit. So burning more calories than you intake every single day. Okay, so if you intake 2,000 calories every day, you have to eat 1,500. If you're intaking 2,500, 2,000. Okay, just off the top of my head. Good guidelines to go off. So calorie tracking is really important, because if we're not in a deficit, we won't lose body fat, okay? We also need to see what your macronutrient balance is like. So we need to see where we're going wrong. So if you're consuming loads of carbs every day, but no protein, that would explain a lot as to why you're so hungry all the time. You know, if you've got a diet which is, you know, really low in fat, we'll know why your hormones feel a little bit off, okay? If you're eating a super high protein diet already and loads of fat, but your carbs are too low, that explains why you get to the gym and feel like shit and you can't train hard, but you've got no energy all afternoon. So, you know, macronutrients is another thing to look at. Starting off, but I wouldn't really be too fast on carbs and fats. They will sort themselves out. Focus on protein intake starting off. That will naturally make your diet cleaner, and focus on calorie intake overall. So calories and protein are the two big ones starting off. We also need to identify where you're going wrong in your day with calories. If you're not getting the results you want right now from your fat loss, there is something going wrong, okay? So by tracking your food, it's gonna give us the data that we need to work out where you're going wrong. So I have it all the time where I will track something thinking it is healthy, or maybe it is healthy, but I think it's decent on calories. And I'll put it into MyFitnessPal and be like, holy shit, it's so high in calories. So sometimes on a weekend, I'll go and get a ham and cheese croissant, right, from Gale's Bakery in London. And I'm like, cool, it's a croissant, it's 400 or 500 calories, it's a late morning snack, I'm just enjoying myself, it's the weekend, you know, I can try and make room for it in my calories and enjoy myself more, right? Then I'll go on a website and it's 750 calories for a ham and cheese croissant. I've completely cocked up. I've spent my budget, most of my budget for the day of calories on my late morning snack. Yeah, I shouldn't even have a late morning snack today because it's Saturday. So we need to make sure we know where we're going wrong in your day, all right? Because if there's some things you're eating that you think are low in calories when they are, or you just have no idea how high in calories they are at all. And also it goes the other way too. You might think right now, oh, I need to stop doing this habit, you know, it's the beers that are making me stay overweight. When really, if you look at it, you might only be consuming like over a whole week, 800 calories a beer or 1,000 calories a beer. And like, it might be way bigger issues first you have to tackle before that. So in terms of like consulting for your own nutrition, tracking is so important, not just to make sure we're hitting your targets and getting results, but to look at what's been going wrong, okay? And before you say, no, I just need a meal plan, you don't need a meal plan, you won't stick to it, because I wouldn't either, okay? The more data we have, the easier it is to make adjustments too. So if we know how many calories you're eating and you're not getting the results you want, we simply reduce it down, okay? And make sure you're only tracking the data and the important things too. So this is why I didn't say to you start on a training program. You can get to that point, but we don't want to be tracking too many things starting off, it'll overwhelm you. So the 3 things really to start tracking at the beginning are steps, calorie intake, and body weight. Those 3 are the 3 that will do you to begin with. Don't start tracking sleep, and how much weight you're lifting. We'll get to that point later on down the line, okay? And also what food tracking will do for you, and the last point before we move on, it will give you the flexibility to still be able to live your life, okay? If you don't want to track food, and you're like, oh, I hate tracking calories, fine. The alternative is you go out and it's all guesswork of what you're doing. And you're going out and you're eating a meal and you're picking a salad off the menu, and you didn't have to do that because you knew how many calories you actually had left. So it will give you the flexibility to still enjoy yourself. Go for a drink with your friend, have a beer. Go out with the missus and have a pizza. You know, go to a wedding and not completely fall off track, right? You get my point. Track your food, track the data, and make this diet sustainable. Alrighty, step number 3, you're tracking your food. In terms of the timeline where we're at, I think the steps and the workout should take 1 to 3 weeks starting off to get into that habit, okay? When that's comfortable, then we move on to the food tracking. Honestly, you can get away with just tracking steps and calories for about, I don't know, 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks. So you could just do that on its own. It depends how much weight you have to lose and like how high your body fat percentage is. If you're doing a 12-week fat loss phase, all this will happen a lot shorter. If you're doing a 52-week one over the whole year, you're gonna be spread out more with most of these things, okay? So what comes next? Let's say you get to the point where you usually fall off because you're getting so hungry and your cravings are building up. And you always wonder why after you get to past the 5 kilogram mark, or you get past the 10 kilogram mark, you can't stick to it any longer. And you wonder why that is. Well, I'll tell you why that is. Because the diet that works for you starting off is gonna work for you forever, okay? So in that time, we've adjusted your diet slightly. It's pretty similar to how it was before, but we cleaned it up a little bit. We've worked out where you've gone wrong, but you're still eating a similar diet overall. And the issue is that you're going through your days and your weeks really, really hungry, and it's starting to build up. And you get to that breaking point where you just can't keep going. Now, usually you'd give up, right? Or you'd go even more extreme to try and speed things up, and you always fall off track and end up binging, and you put the weight back on after. When you get to this point where you're really starting to struggle, it's time to audit your diet and look where you need to improve, okay? And there's 2 things you need to massively improve on 90% of the time, okay? And here they are. So step 3 is increasing your protein and your fiber intake, okay? Now, the diet, like you've been in a deficit at this point for 8, 12, 16 weeks, maybe half a year. And because you've been in a deficit of calories and you're eating less food, what you're also deficient in is not just calories to lose body fat, but you're also deficient in micronutrients too, because you cut your whole calorie intake in half. Okay, so your body's running on fumes at this point because you're not eating clean food. Okay, so Here's where fitness coaches mess up. They go, you don't need to eat clean to lose body fat. Yeah, you're right, but wait till you're halfway through a fucking fat loss phase and you've got your last 5 kilograms to lose and you feel like shit. The reason why is because you're very deficient in a lot of things. You probably start getting sick and you have no energy. So at this point, we start to increase your fiber intake and eat cleaner and start to either increase your protein, or if your protein's already high, we start to make sure we get cleaner protein sources in. We stop relying so much on shakes and bars and shit, which made it easy for you starting off, and we start replacing it with real food. So that's where people really start to fall off track, okay? So fruit and veg needs to increase, clean protein sources need to increase, and you will feel so much different. Even on the same calorie intake, excuse me, you'll feel so much better. And you'll still be hungry because you're in a calorie deficit, but through that you will start to have more energy just from eating cleaner foods, okay? You'll top up your vitamins, your minerals, and these protein sources are actually going to start filling you up too. Protein fills you up, right? Yeah, a protein bar doesn't really, okay? So start making sure you're eating clean protein sources at this point. And the important thing is at this point is, it was important for us starting off to make sure you kept your diet pretty similar, because if we changed your diet completely, you wouldn't have stuck to it in the first place. But when we're getting to breaking point, we have to start making smarter changes, and you can still have the same things down and eat a similar diet and still go out and enjoy yourself. But we have to start gradually making it more healthy if it's going to be sustainable in the long run too, okay? So we need to make sure we can still adhere to the plan alongside it too, okay? So we're starting to increase fiber, protein, make the diet cleaner overall, but whilst making it still sustainable to that point. Does that make sense? But also making sure that you realise this is a gradual process too. Not talking about myself too much, but this year I did a photo shoot prep for 6 months. I lost 23 kilograms, and I'll tell you right now, the diet 4 to 8 weeks in looks very different 16 to 20 weeks in, because I was getting to the point where I was so exhausted and tired all the time, and I was doing so much cardio, which we'll get to in a minute, and I've been in a deficit for so long. Like, you can't afford to not eat clean, because you're like, this food will do nothing for me. I'm not going to eat a protein bar because it will do nothing for me. You know what I mean? I'll eat some cottage cheese instead, because that will fucking get me through the day. Right? So it's a gradual process to get to where you need to be. We're not asking you to start eating clean tomorrow. It might take you 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, of gradual improvement to starting your diet to getting it to a really good phase. Number 4, we've increased your expenditure. We've got you tracking the data of what's going into your mouth, and now we start to clean it up as well to make sure that we're not destroying ourselves into this calorie deficit, this fat loss phase, okay? So number 4, where are we here? Yeah, let's say we've been dieting for 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 6 months. We're eating clean, we're working out regularly, hitting some weights, getting our steps in, and we've lost 10, maybe 15 kilograms. And we're feeling good, but it's starting to slow down. It's that point in the fat loss phase where no matter how much work you put in, you're losing 0.1 kilogram a week, 0.2 kilograms a week. But the thing is that you're fucking starving, right? And you've already put your calories down at some point as well to already maybe kick up the fat loss a little bit, because we want to be losing between 0.5 to 1.5% of your body weight each week, all right? So as soon as we fall out of that, we have to make a change. So let's say we've already cut your calories down a little bit and you're thinking, I'm fucking starving, but the weight isn't shifting. What have I got to do here, okay? Now at this point, we don't want to pull calories any lower. So we have to try and increase your calorie expenditure too. Now, if you're a busy guy who's dieting around all day, you haven't got time to do 15,000 steps a day, okay? So what we'd do is we'd start to add some cardio in instead, okay? Now this cardio wouldn't be super intense. We wouldn't be doing HIIT classes or sprints or running marathons. It wouldn't be anything too intense. What we'd do, what I like to do with my clients, is get them on an incline walk, right? So get on a treadmill, 12-degree incline, 4.8 kilometers an hour, and starting off, doing about 20 minutes a week starting off. That should elicit some change, right? Some fat loss. The minute we stop seeing that progress from that, we just increase the cardio more to, let's say, 40 minutes, then 60 minutes, to the point where we're back in that range of losing 0.5 to 1.5% of your body weight each week, okay? So make sure it's not intense, keep it low intensity. The other alternative, if you didn't want to do that, low intensity walking on a treadmill, would be try and find some sort of sport that you used to love, alright? This is a bit of an old fashioned tip, but like, it's great. If you love playing football, try and find a local five-a-side. If you used to love running and like you want to get back into it because you've been on this fitness journey now with the weight training and the weight loss, you go, you know what, I want to start running again. Start running, give it a go. If you love playing badminton or hockey, whatever your sport was, maybe it was rugby back in the day, you want to start playing some tag rugby to keep yourself injury free. Get into a sport, but try and do it at least twice a week because that will burn a lot of calories and it's fucking enjoyable too, right? That's the other one. But the point is, you've got to start adding some cardio in at this point, and not just for health benefits too, because cardio is, to me, it's the most important thing health-wise, is doing cardiovascular activity alongside a good diet too. But we got to try and make sure we're adding some low-intensity cardio or some sort of sports in there too. Okay. We don't want to be pulling food too low either, okay? We don't want to get to the point where our food's too low because we'll be really deficient in micronutrients and also our protein intake will crash too, okay? And you'll eventually just crash your whole diet out. So this is where we start to leverage your, cardio and more calorie expenditure, okay? Start on 20 minutes a week and slowly increase as you go along the weeks, okay? Right, we've got one more step to go. So step 5, this is the last one, and this is one that no fitness coaches ever talk about, ever. They'll just put you on a certain amount of calories, give you a step target, give you a dodgy training program and say the fuck off, alright? They don't understand how the body works. They haven't been training for 10 years plus like myself, do you know what I mean? So this is the one they always miss out on, but it's really, really vital, especially for a guy who is maybe over 100 kilograms, who wants to lose 20, 30 odd kilograms. You have to do this, otherwise you will not succeed. It's a fact. So we have to start adding some diet breaks in. And this is usually for longer fat loss phases. So if we're doing 12 weeks, this is usually for longer fat loss phases, okay? So anything up to like 16 weeks, maybe half a year long, we have to incorporate diet breaks, otherwise we will crash and this won't be anything we'll be able to sustain, okay? Not just from a diet standpoint, but from a training standpoint too. If you're training really, really hard all year round, you need breaks in the year, okay? We need deload breaks, we need diet breaks to keep us going along the way, okay? So the whole reason why I'm able to stay in shape all year round is because I know about this stuff and I train really hard all year round, but I know when to pull back. And it's not me being a soft wet wipe, it's just me needing to recover and dissipate any fatigue, okay? So when you have a diet break, we're going to increase your calories to maintenance. So let's say you've been eating 2,000 calories to lose weight, then it increase you back up to 2,500 calories, maybe even 2,800 calories, okay? Depending on how much you're expending every single day. I would always pull the cardio back on these weeks, like don't need to do any cardio, especially if you're doing it for fat loss, because at this point, you're so fatigued that this week is not about losing body fat, it's about maintaining for a week, and you have to accept that too. And although it's nice to see the scales dropping every single week, you're in a great momentum, you got to sometimes say stop and go, no, I need a week to maintain and get my energy levels back, okay? So what happens in the dieting phase, or a training phase full stop, is our fitness increases as we train every single day or 3 times a week. But eventually we hit a point where our fitness is improving, but so is our fatigue alongside that too. And to keep the fitness gains, but let the fitness fatigue dissipate, we've got to have a week off and let this drop off, and then we can keep on going up, okay? So that combined with a calorie deficit is going to create so much fatigue. So we have to have these breaks in the year, but we have to have a week off and take a break, okay? So increase your calories to maintenance, and you'll find that this is going to help your sleep massively. If you're not sleeping well during your dieting phase, this will help your sleep increase massively. And you'll see water retention drop off too. So when we're in a dieting phase for so long, our stress levels go through the roof, our sleep starts to go to shit, because we're starving ourselves essentially to get the result we want. So we have to take these week breaks to make sure we let our fatigue dissipate, we increase our sleep, our stress, and from that your physique will look completely different too. I've had it so many times where I've gone up to maintenance for a week and I've dropped a whole kilogram because all my water retention from the stress and the lack of sleep has dropped off me completely, okay? So how often should we do these? At least every 8 weeks. So if you're doing a 12-week dieting phase, I'd argue you might not even need to do it. Just do it for 12 weeks and just hammer it, okay? The minute you start doing 16 weeks, 26 weeks, 52 weeks, you have to start putting these breaks in, okay? Especially because if you're 8 months into a dieting phase or 4 months into a dieting phase, you're doing a lot of work at that point to get a weight off. So you're going to be very, very fatigued, and to keep it sustainable for a long time, you have to take those diet breaks. It's a non-negotiable. So if you're in a fat loss phase right now and you're wondering, why I'm so exhausted all the time, why do I need to take a break? You probably need to have a diet break and take a week off. Put your calories back up, take a week off training, and you'll see your body change completely over that week, and you'll feel so much better the week off. Think of it as like if you were at your job in the office and you did a project or a work block for 12 weeks, or you run a business and you really push your business for 12 weeks. You'd probably book a holiday after, wouldn't you? You'd go, you know what, I've got this big project for the next 10 weeks, 12 weeks. I'm gonna fucking go for it, or 8 weeks. I'm gonna go for it. But I've got Ibiza booked on the 12th of May. Do you know what I mean? You've got something coming up to take a week off and take it easy. So the same as with your training and the same as with your fat loss too, you have to take breaks from it to keep it sustainable for the long run. So there you have it. That is a 5-step guide to getting in shape as a busy guy in the city. If you follow this framework, it will work so easy for you. And I'm sorry I haven't brought anything sexy to the table, some sexy diet, some sexy little hack that will make you lose a little weight. This is just the way it goes. It's hard, it's not easy, it's supposed to be hard, but let me tell you something. Be glad that it's hard, because you'll be 10 times the man you want to be once you've got this whole process over and done with. Why would you want it to be easy, alright? Anything that's worth having in life, whether it's a 6-pack or a Lamborghini, ain't worth having if it was easy to get. No one's going to respect you for it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you click